What's up, YouTube? Greg Tresiak here with Pragmatic Works, bringing you some interesting looks at how we can bring measures through visual calculations into our reports already on the Power BI service. So let's jump right into it. Before we get started, want to learn more about Power BI for Finance or Universal Design? Visit prag.works/greg40 and you'll save 40% on an annual on-demand learning subscription. And you're going to get access to over 100 courses. Now, on to the video. One of the biggest downsides of the Power BI service is once we publish a report like this one, we're hanging out, we're looking at it. If we try to make a measure, let's say I go to my report here, I press edit, and maybe I just right click on sales. Usually I'd have a new measure option, or I'd have something in the header like in the desktop, but I just don't quite have it here. But what if, rather than going back to the desktop, within the service here, I actually wanted to go in and create some sort of measure? Well, I have visual calculations to help me do that. Now, the thing about visual calculations are they're something that is built upon a visual. So you do have some limitations. You're using what is inside that visualization, and it's a preview feature, right? You may run into some random hiccups, some other things, just things to be aware of, but we can edit our visuals. We can get some calculations made right here in the service, which is an amazing, amazing kind of flexible, cool feature. So let's do it. First things first, how do we go ahead and grab a visual calculation here in the service? Well, I'm just check out this one right here. This is a revenue by country. There's a ton of ways that we can use visual calculations. I just want to show you the basic functionality and adding those in. So I'm going to go right here and either right click and go to new calculation. That's one thing I can do right here. Right click, new calculation, or with this selected, if I go to the more options, that 3 ellipses in the top right, I'm going to have the new calculation icon right there. I'm going to start by pressing that. Now again, you need to be able to have edit access to the report. If you are simply a viewer, you're just going to be viewing and it's not going to fly. Can't do it. All right, now I'm ready for my first calculation. This is visual calculations. If you don't know anything about visual calculations, they are basically measures that we can build on the visual. It's great that they're here in the service. That's an awesome functionality. They do have some limitations. They don't work with every visualization. If you look over here, you can see there's some visuals that are grayed out. They won't work there, right? So you have to be mindful of it, but it is pretty awesome. One thing I like about visual calcs here are templates. I'm all about democratizing data analytics. Power BI is absolutely phenomenal at that. But these templates here under this FX button here are templates I can bring in. Running sums, moving averages, percent of parent, percent of grand total. I mean, whatever I'd want here, there's great flexibility. And hey, check out an upcoming visual calculations class on our on-demand learning. Or if you haven't already, check out the link here and you'll be able to grab the Learn with the Nerds total visual calcs class. All right, let's just stick with something easy. Running sum. You're probably saying, Greg, am I going to do running sum on something like this? Probably not, but we just want to look at the functionality of it here on the service. So I need to replace field. Pretty easy to do so. I'm going to go in and replace it. Now, the only thing I need to be aware of, it's built on the visual, which means I can use country, revenue, or state. I want a running sum. So I'm going to go with revenue. I can select it, hit enter, bring that in, and boom, there we go. I've got a running sum hanging out here. This is now a part of the visualization, right? So if I go ahead and save this report, and let's say I'm going to go to my workspace real quick and then go back to the report, the change is there. I mean, that is ready to go. That's a visual calc, boom, right there in our face. What about a drill down? What if I drill down into this? It's still there. So you can drill down, you have that flexibility. Oh, love it. All right, so I'm I'm not done yet, right? Let's edit. Let's go back to our calculations. We're in the window, we're working. Big question I get, and I really want people to know about it, is right here, running sum. Greg, I don't like the way that it looks. I want to change this. It's not going to be in that currency format. I don't have any way to format it, but I can just write a little bit of simple text. Help me out a little bit. This is one of my amazing favorite functions, format. Format has so many things you could do with it. Here's one, right? I'm going to wrap this running sum in format. So I'm going to say, hey, format running sum revenue as, and I'm just going to do double quote, currency. Right now I'm telling Power BI, take whatever this number is and make it into a currency. That's one of the beauties of format. I hit enter. There we go. Downside, guess what? It's gone. So you can do that very easily in the desktop, but this is one of the limitations we see in the service is where'd my running sum go, right? So a downside there, let's get rid of our format. Let's keep it back to our simple running sum and voila, we're back, right? That's not all, right? We have other functionalities. If I go to another template here, maybe I want moving average. What happens if I grab in 2? Now I'm going to do a moving average on revenue. And I'm going to make the window size 3 just so we can see the difference. Not really any valuable calculation we're going to get, but we're just looking at functionality today. And there we go, right? So now I'm back in business. I have multiples. We can save it. We can use it. We can function with the report. It is a visual calculation. They're great, they're easy to work with, but you already saw a couple of limitations. But to me, the fact that I can just open up a report, create a quick calculation, or at the very least, use this for my own kind of playing around with the DAX there, is some pretty amazing functionality. I'm really excited for it. I'm excited for visual calcs in general. Let me know in the comments below, what is a feature or a template function you really want in those visual calculations? Are you using it yet? Who knows? Let me know. All right, so thanks everybody. This has been Greg with Pragmatic Works. Now you know you can have your cake and eat it too. You can have your measures in the desktop, and in some way, you also can have them in the Power BI service. All right, make sure you slap that like button and subscribe. Hit the bell as well. I'm out. Bye, y'all.